Welcome to Contours of Our Soul and Beyond. Today, I would like to talk about something that sounds very simple, but the more you think about it, the bigger it becomes. Why do we write? It's an interesting question, but everyone who writes has a different answer. Some write to remember, some write to forget, some write to because they have to say something, they have something to say. Others write because they don't know how to say things out loud. For me, writing has never just been about putting words on paper. It's been about making sense of life. There have been moments when I couldn't explain myself, what I was feeling, but somehow a blank page understood me. The page never interrupted me, it never judged me, it never told me to hurry up, it simply waited. And sometimes that's all we need. People often think writers are trying to teach something. Sometimes we are, but more often we're trying to understand every poem we've written, every page in my book, every little message I post online started with a feeling. So every writer knows that. A question, a memory, a hope, or even a fear. Writing gives those things somewhere to live instead of letting them stay trapped inside of us. So something I've learned, not every piece of writing changes the world, that's for sure. But it might change one person's world. Sometimes that's enough, like just one person, you make your day, you make their day. I've had people tell me they found one of my poems during the hardest season of their lives. Others have said they kept a screenshot of something I posted because they needed to read it over and over and over again. That reminds me that words have life beyond the moments they're written. They travel, they wait, they find people. They find people when they need it the most. It's like isn't that incredible? A sentence you might write today might become someone else's strength, months or even years from now. And I've seen that. We never really know where our words will end up. That's why I believe we should choose them carefully, whether we speak them or we write them. Words can build someone, and words can also break someone. They can close a door or open one. So every word, when I put it on paper, I choose my words carefully. Because you don't want them to leave scars, but you want them to begin a healing. That's my way of writing. And that's a responsibility I don't take lightly. People sometimes ask me if I ever run out of ideas. The answer is no, I never run out of ideas. Always something inspires me, the life inspires me, the simplest things in life inspire me. It doesn't have to be the big things. As simple as driving down a road, having a conversation with a stranger you met. Every single thing in life, if we stop and think, has an inspiration. It touches us in a way, it heals us in a way, it breaks us in a way, it does miracles. So when they ask me, do you ever run out of ideas? No, the answer is no, I never ran out of ideas. I've been writing since I can remember. Contours of Our Soul is not my first book, it's my 5th book. I've written other 4 books prior to that. The last book was published in 2008. All the 4 books before were poetry books. This is Contours of Our Soul is a novel, a fictional novel laced with poetry. So it's a little bit different from the others. There was a big gap in between my 4th book and my 5th book. life happens, and I didn't stop writing, but I just never got to publishing it. Other things were there, but writing never stopped, inspirations never stopped. Whoever follows me on Instagram know that I post all the time, even if it's a one-liner, even if it's an inspiration from a different writer, but there's always something there. So, because life never runs out of stories. Every person you pass has one, every smile hides one, every tear tells one, every goodbye writes one. The writer's job isn't to invent life, it's to notice it, to slow down long enough to see what everyone else is rushing past, to find meaning in ordinary moments, to remind people they're not invisible. And maybe that's the biggest reason I write, to let someone know they're seen. That whatever the feeling is, someone else has felt it too. Maybe whatever I felt, they felt it too. That they're not walking through this life alone. Sometimes it inspires us, sometimes it keeps us lonely, because loneliness has a way of convincing us that no one else understands. Writing pushes life against that lie. It's a lie. It says, I understand, I've been there, keep going. Maybe that's why books matter. Maybe that's why poetry matters. Maybe that's why one simple sentence can stay with us for the rest of our lives. Other writers have inspired me too, not only myself. So I believe if he done that to me as a writer, and another writer inspired me and kept me going, I think anybody who reads poetry or novels or whatever it might be, keeps them going. They'll find something there that inspires them, that changes their life for the good, always for the good. I stay positive. It's always for the good. So, not because writing is perfect, but because it arrived at the perfect moment. Words that you write arrive at a perfect moment to somebody. We write because memories fade. Sometimes we forget, because emotions deserve a voice, because hope deserves to be shared, because some deserve to be told. Some stories deserve to be told. Nobody's going to tell your story if you don't. You can do it through poetry, you can do it through novel writing. My novel, Contours of Her Soul, is a fictional one, but my poetry sometimes are reflections of what inspired me. So it's somehow the truth, and then turning it into something more extreme. So because I truly believe stories deserve to be told. Nobody else is going to tell your story or tell what you feel or inspire you or inspire others. I honestly believe someone, somewhere is waiting for your words. They haven't found them yet, even with me, and maybe without even knowing it, I'm the one who's going to write them, or you're the one that's going to write them. So if you've ever thought about writing, start writing a one-liner or a diary. Write anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be published, and it could be published. Sometimes writing makes you feel good. It's like talking to somebody. I lost my dad when I was 4 years old, and my writing started as writing letters to my dad, writing a diary to my dad. So that's how it started, and later on turned into poetry writing, and then I turned into novels, anything you write. My poetry writing is not directly about my dad, but there's a few of them in my previous books that are dedicated to my dad. But as you get people to read you don't only want to write about your dad, but the inspiration started from there and then continued into poetry and romance and all of that. So whatever it is, I encourage you to put it down on paper. Something you can't say out loud, do it on paper. Don't wait until you think you're good enough. You're always good enough. Don't wait until inspiration feels perfect. Write the messy pages, write the honest pages, write the pages that scare you, because perfection doesn't change. Perfection doesn't change people. Honesty does. And if your words make even one person feel less alone, which I think that's one thing that inspires me about my writing. I try to keep it positive. It's always positive. I'm a positive person. No matter what happens, I take the situation, I turn it into something positive. I don't dwell on it. I find reasons for it to turn it into something positive. If somebody hurts me with their words, I usually, maybe the person has a bad day. Maybe they're experiencing something in their life. Somebody talks bad about me. It really doesn't matter because I know who I am and I know their talk. So I find reasons for it. Sometimes people are jealous. Sometimes people are, have nothing else to do. I find positive reason to give them excuses. So if your words make one person feel less alone, which always there's somebody you're inspiring, even if it's not posted on social media, even if it's not a like or a comment or anything, but I personally always get more of the private messages than anything that's sent public. So I've inspired a lot of people. I remember being in school, and if I felt like somebody in my classroom was sad or was going through something, I took a piece of paper and I started writing them a poem. Some of them still remind me of that. They're like, you remember when you used to write me poems in school and like put it in my desk or hand it over to me secretly so the teacher doesn't see? So I truly believe words can make someone feel less alone. I'm still that way. I'm still old-fashioned that way. I like to receive a letter in the mail. I like to receive a card in the mail. And I have a lot of friends that know I like that, and I do get still letters that are handwritten. It has to be handwritten. And cards that are handwritten and sent to me. So then, going back to if you can make one person feel less alone, you've already answered the question. Why do we write? So we write because words have the power to outlive us. And they really do. Long after we've gone, think about it. You go through a quote online. Sometimes you see a quote online written by somebody. That person is no longer with us sometimes, but their words still have an impact of how you feel or how it made your day. Sometimes you repost it because you love it so much. So I believe words, long after we're gone, they're still gonna be there. You can still share that kindness, the kindness we wrote, the hope we shared through that poem or a one-liner or a novel, and the lives we've touched will still be speaking long after we're gone. Thank you for joining me.